Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming on. My name is Tracy Baldrack. I'm founder of Team Faithfully Fit, and there are a couple different coaches from Team Faithfully Fit on this call. We have a virtual assistant that supports our team, and she was not available tonight, so that's why the date is incorrect, because I don't do PowerPoint. It says November 1st, but I don't know how to change it. So I'm not a perfectionist, so we're just going to roll with it. But the goal tonight is to give you guys just a really quick overview on our team, what coaching is, how to make money coaching, how to help other people, what Beachbody is as a company, and what Team Beachbody is, just so that you have a little bit of an idea. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of coaches that are out there, because you can really put as much or as little into this business as you want. So I'm Tracy Baldrack. I like to sort of give you guys a little background, because whoever invited you onto this call, if they haven't told you yet, they will probably share their story with you. And I think that it's so important that as a team, we all have a good overview and understanding of each of our stories, because it's all of our stories that bring us together and which keeps our team working to help others. So my story is this. I have 4 children. When my 4th baby was born, my oldest was 5. She was almost 6. And it wasn't necessarily the pregnancy that put me into a tailspin. It was the stress of having 4 children under the age of 6. In the picture in the bottom left, I was literally like about ready to pop. I was like bathing 3 kids, waiting for the 4th to come. I was totally stressed out, exhausted, lots of anxiety. Anytime nighttime would come, I would start to get anxious about like how many times the baby was going to be up, and then how was I going to get everybody up and out the door to nursery school and carry on with having 2 kids also at home while the oldest was in pre-K. I just was overwhelmed. And up until this point in my life, I had been always interested in fitness, but I was super inconsistent with it. Definitely have been a binge eater my whole life. I am not a recovered, eating disorder or anything like that, but absolutely no self-control, nor did I want it. This bottom right-hand picture, like I would just make eggnog in December and just drink it like all throughout the month. Just drink eggnog, eat like a loaf of cheese, have some shrimp, and feel like that was a really good nutritious dinner. And I'd wonder why I was so lethargic. That was a picture of me sleeping in the snow that my kids took of me. Like I fell asleep in the middle of my kids playing in the middle of the day in the backyard. It was fenced in, of course, but just exhausted and tired all the time. So it was about 4 months after my youngest was born, and I was like, I've got to do something. I'm not getting to the gym. And when I was getting to the gym, I was getting paged because there was a dirty diaper or someone was crying, and I would literally just be getting my warm up in and had to cancel the whole thing. So I wasn't really able to get a good, consistent routine. And one of my friends from high school had been inviting me to do Beachbody for a long time. Not pushy. She was never pushy. She's one of my good friends. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do DVDs in my basement. I don't want to do a workout in my basement. And I don't need your shakes because I drink my own shakes. I make my own shakes. But finally I got to the point, and all of us had to get to the point where like I was ready. Like my shakes clearly weren't doing anything for me because I was 35 pounds overweight. And I had gained most of that since I actually had the baby from stress. And I just wasn't able to get to the gym or get my workouts. And it was in the middle of the winter, and I'm like, okay, I'll try a program, but I need like the quickest program out there. So she was like, okay, let's do T25. I'm like, okay, I can handle 25 minutes a day for 6 days a week. So I got T25. I would go down to my basement, this top right-hand picture that you see, that's me and my 4th child. That basement is what has now been converted into our little gym. And I did T25. It was a 60-day program, and I lost 35 pounds in those 60 days. Not 60 days, it's 10 weeks. 10 weeks of Shanti. I was religious. I was not in a challenge group. I did not want to be in a challenge group. I did not want to be on Facebook. I did not want to be put into a challenge group. I was anti-Facebook. I was anti-challenge groups. I just wanted to do it by myself. And I think for me, I needed that journey to sort of do it on my own, in my own time, but I did not miss a day. I did not miss a double. I didn't really focus on a nutrition plan, but the Shakeology was awesome. And so after I'd lost this 35 pounds and I'd been drinking my shakes, I just noticed a difference in the way that I was like responding to my environment. I felt more grateful. I felt more confident about myself. I felt stronger. And when you're physically strong, mentally, you feel so much better. I was consistent for the first time in years with my workouts. I just felt positive. I felt empowered. And life just completely changed from, the point, like the last 4 years of having babies up until now. My family was complete. I was done. Right. And it just felt amazing to have had this change. And so then I had friends asking me, well, like, what have you been doing? I'm like, oh, talk to my friend Kelly. She's the one that got me into this. I just went to my gym. I pushed play for 25 minutes and I drink the shake. I did do a lot of research about the shake because I was nursing my fourth. So I was very adamant about the ingredients, and I'll get into that later. But I kept referring people to Kelly, and Kelly's like, why don't you coach? And I was like, girlfriend, you are crazy. Like I got 4 kids under 6. Like, how am I supposed to find time to coach? But organically it happened, and sooner or later I ended up on Facebook. I ended up inviting people, or people were asking me about my change and my transformation. And the way I was feeling was literally just coming out of the seams, and it was showing through Facebook, and organically this team has evolved. So what is this team, Faithfully Fit? It's made up of almost 500 coaches of like-minded people. I'd say out of those 500, there are probably 30 of us that are actively sharing the business in one way or the other. I'd say between 30 and 50. Some people will just share the business a couple times a year. Some people, like myself, do it full time. But it's a family of like-minded people. Like always attracts like. So if you are on this call, you know Megan, you know Dina, or you know Nicole, or myself, and I'll tell you what I know about those women is that they are empowered, they are happy, they are joyful, they are excited, and they're just in a good place. And so I would venture to say that you guys who are on this call are probably very similar, because like always attracts like. It's sort of like the boomerang effect. We always have people come into our lives based on in what place we're in. So I'm excited about the way that we are just growing with this team. And you can look at this picture here. We do lots of events together. We do lots of get-togethers. The locals will get together. We have Summit, which is a really fun get-together in the summer. We've got quarterly events that we've done. We've got Super Saturdays every 3 months. So there's lots of events that we have done, and we truly enjoy being together. But besides that, you might be wondering, like, well, what do I get when I join the team? Every team within Team Beachbody is different. Our team, we have bi-weekly Zoom calls. So that is a format just like this, just for coaches who are sharing the business. And we do training in those calls. It's not always me. A lot of times other coaches on the team will pick something that they're good at or that's working for them, and they'll share. You'll never find anyone on the team like hiding what they do or keeping it to themselves. It's always an open book. Like if Megan has something that's working for her, she's like, yeah, guys, I just put it in the Facebook page. It's yours to see. If Dina runs a 5-day free group and it works great, she'll have a document and she'll be like, here, guys, you guys feel free to use it. Get your own images. Have fun. So it's very much a team-oriented environment. We have a Getting Started Right training, which is 2 weeks. It runs Monday through Fridays. The first 2 weeks of the new month, we do that every single month for brand new coaches, and it gives you everything you need to know to get your business up and running. We have Emerald to Diamond training, which is a more advanced training, and we offer that training every other month. It's the same, 10 days. It runs Monday through Friday, weekends off. We have a Facebook team page where we correspond a lot via Facebook. And again, it's just for coaches who are sharing the business. And then we have a Vox chain. If you're not on Voxer with whoever invited you to this group, you probably will be soon. It's like a walkie-talkie, and it's a way for us to sort of text with our voice. So we do a lot of FAQs, a lot of brainstorming as a team using some of the methods that I talked about here. Again, this is just a preview of some of the coaches on our team. A lot of us went to Dallas in the top left-hand corner. That was called Platinum Edge, and that was training on social media. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the women on the team, and they're going to speak a little bit, but not really any of us had a ton of social media training, and there is an entire world to learn about social media. So that was great. The top right-hand picture is Summit, and then right below that, where myself and Megan and Pam and Alyssa are, that was a Super Saturday. And you can just see, Nicole and I saw each other in California. I was out there for a leadership retreat, and Nicole came and met me, and we got to meet in person after corresponding through Voxer for probably 6 months. So it's just been really fun to be able to have this virtual team come together and really get to know one another. Yeah. So before we get into any more, let me just talk to you really briefly about Beachbody as a company. So Carl Deichler and John Congdon are in the bottom right-hand corner. Those are the founders. They founded Beachbody. Now, Beachbody is a separate entity than Team Beachbody, okay? Beachbody was founded based on infomercials. So many times you would ask people about like P90 or Tony Horton or hip hop abs or insanity, right? All of that was sold on infomercials years ago. And many people didn't know about Beachbody, but if you were like, hey, have you heard of Tony Horton and P90? People would be like, yeah, my coworker does it in his garage. So they really realized after this whole infomercial business exploded, they made $150 million a year and had this household recognition. But what was missing was the fact that many of these people that were working hard at these programs were not finishing them. You know, a P90 program that goes for 3 months, not many of the people that would actually buy the program would finish. So they created the coaching opportunity to really fill that void. And so they created this network marketing company called Team Beachbody. So Team Beachbody is 9.5 years old. We're about to have our 10-year anniversary. So coaching has not been around for that long. And what the coach does is now we sell the workout, which is the exercise piece. We help with the nutrition, and we are the encouragers and the ones who hold our people accountable. So if you're on this call, you probably have been through a challenge group before. Maybe you've had some sort of physical or emotional or mental transformation in your workout. But what the coaching opportunity really did is it kind of pulled it all together. Fitness, nutrition, accountability. Those are the 3 things that get people results. So that's how coaching was born. One of the things I love is that they are both very passionate men about our military. All of our veterans have coaching fees waived, anyone who's a former veteran or an active military duty. So I love that. Many people take advantage of it. And they're really giving back to our community. Carl Deichler just did, he just sent like 15 coaches who are close to New York City to go do like a representation for a Broadway musical that he donated to for children who did not have parents. So they really take a lot of the money and invest it back into children or military or things that make a difference. Okay, so I'm going to let Dina speak. Is she still on this call? Is Dina still?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to let Dina talk. This is a little bit about transformations, and Dina herself has had an amazing physical transformation. So Dina, will you just talk a little bit about how real people can have real transformations, physical or mental?
Yeah, of course. Oh gosh, I was just going to talk about my physical one. I can't even really touch on my mental one because that would be a lot of time. But yeah, so I had just finished my second pregnancy. Both pregnancies, I had gained 80 pounds. Yeah, I really I'm a foodie. So, you know, I had burgers every day and ice cream every night, and I knew I'd have to be healthy afterwards. So I just lived it up. But 80 pounds is a lot of weight. So after my first pregnancy, I was able to lose it all, but it took me close to 2 years. It took me, you know, I was at the gym for an hour and a half every day. I was like basically starving myself, like eating maybe a protein bar and then a turkey sandwich, and that's it for the entire day. So I was tired and cranky, and I was putting in pretty much all my effort into that instead of like being a good, energetic mommy. And so with my second pregnancy, both of my sisters were actually starting the program around Thanksgiving, and I was like 7 months pregnant at that point. And I was so annoyed with them because, you know, I'm looking at them who they were perfectly healthy, and they're talking about how they're going to start these shakes and this diet and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a waste of money. Like, you should just go to the gym and like eat healthy. And then within like a month and a half, I saw the energy they had, and my sister Mandy came over and actually was like, do you want to see my butt? And she like pulled down her pants and I was like, oh my God, you have the butt you had in high school. And so
That's awesome.
so that's what sold it. And I just, it was really their energy level, and that's what it was. And my sisters were kind of foodies like me. Like they definitely, you know, they could eat a whole box of cookies in one sitting like I could. And I saw that they weren't doing that anymore. So I tried the program when my baby girl was 5 weeks old, and I lost 12 pounds. I lost 18 inches, and the before and afters were just insane. So when I saw that, I was hooked, and I became a coach the next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most coaches do. Most coaches have some sort of transformation. And on our team, we have coaches that literally are postpartum that just had babies. We have coaches that are in a phase of their life where, you know, their children have gone off to school and they just want to be in good shape for future grandbabies. We have coaches that are just kind of entering the workforce and want to be able to stay fit to keep up with their careers that they have. So we've got all different coaches, but all of them have had some sort of a transformation. And if it hasn't been a physical transformation, it's been a financial transformation, or it's been a mental one or an emotional one based on self-esteem. But there's been a transformation that really can help them connect a why to like getting up and pushing play and working on the nutrition. Like everyone has to have a reason that they want to be healthy, right, Dina? I mean, yours is pretty clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to add to that. Like I started coaching because I knew I wanted to stay on the shakes forever. And so it was totally at first financial. And I said, you know, I'll get people to sign up and they'll pay for my shakes. And that was my motivation.
Yeah.
But after the first couple of challenge groups, it was like, I had people thanking me and people telling me that I changed their life. And it was this huge, unexpected, emotional, you know, just reward. And I was like, and then, so then I was really, really hooked, just helping people. And so that was awesome.
Yeah, that is great. It's very rewarding. So, yes, these pictures are all taken because of Team Beachbody. I'm going to get into the compensation a little bit. And I always want to have a little bit of disclaimer before I start to show numbers about what is possible. And I'll get to that. But this is the top right-hand picture. I went out to California for a leadership retreat. So we have one coach on our team who's just qualified for this, and we have about 4 or 5 coaches that will probably qualify for it next year. It was out in LA, and again, I paid for my own airfare, but my hotel, my food, all of the training, everything was taken care of, and we were treated like gold. And my brother lives out there, so I took an extra day to go see him, and these are the SEALs in La Jolla. And then the top left-hand picture, it's been nice to be able to, this was sort of in the beginning part of my career, but we went to Turks and Caicos, which was like one of the most fabulous vacations that we took as a family. And to be able to take that pressure off of my husband, where I'm like, you know what, I got the vacations this year, don't even worry about it. It's really like what it really matters about for each person. Like some people want to do this just to pay for their shakes, like Dina said. Some people, we have one woman on our team who's not on this call. She just quit her full-time career in corporate America after 17 years to do this full-time. Some people just want to be able to pay for their groceries. Some people want to pay off their mortgage. It really depends. But the bottom picture is another retreat that I went on. The leadership and the training that we get is amazing as you continue to grow into leadership. And that's leadership with your challengers that you're helping, leadership with your team. And we really focus on our vital behaviors, which we talk a lot about in our training, but personal development is a really big piece of the picture. And reading books or listening to podcasts or things that are going to help us be better in our lives, whatever role that might be, that's something that we really believe helps us to be better coaches. So you'll hear us talk a lot about that. Okay, so compensation. So before I get into this, I always have to make the disclaimer that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. It is not a get-rich-quick business at all, but the income potential can be very, very, very great. You have to think of it this way. You have to think of it like if you were about ready to open up shop in downtown wherever you live, and you are going to take out a loan in order to open up that storefront, it is going to take you years to pay that loan back, right? So this is, you're starting a business is what you're starting. Doesn't matter what you decide to do with it, but you're getting your Shakeology for $98 as a coach, and you're paying a $15 discount fee. The discount fee is really what pays for coaches to be able to not have to keep Shakeology on stock, right? We have a website that we can use. We have a distribution center. We have a customer service center. Basically, anything that has to do with servicing our customers and challengers is already taken care of. So for $15 a month, you're basically able to run your own business, which is unheard of for lots of entrepreneurial companies. In this left-hand slide, this is a coach. Her name is Meg. She's been coaching for 6 years, and as you can see, her income compounded over time. Starting in January of 2010, she shows what her weekly growth potential can be, but what she was actually making. In 2011, she was making $167 a week. Now, you guys, that was after a full year of working the business. So it really takes a long time to build, but by the time that she'd been doing it for 3 years, she was making $2,700 a week. By the time she'd been doing it for 6 years, she's making $18,000 a week. Now, she's a top coach in the company, but I'm going to show you some other examples, but all these examples will show you that nothing crazy happened until these people have been coaching for 3 to 4 years. Not to say that making $500 a month extra is not big. That is very big. But for some people on this call that might be thinking, how do I quit my full-time job and make a 6-figure income? That's not going to happen overnight, because that's not what this is. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not get rich quick. This one I love to show on the right-hand side, because this is a person that dabbled in the business for a long time. You can see she was making $23 a week. A year later, $35 a week. And she didn't really get serious about it until after the 4th year. And then you can see from year 4 until the present, you can see how her income really changed. So you really do get out what you put into it. And she talks a lot about consistency. A lot of coaches will work the business very hard for a year, and they're like, okay, where are the fruits of my labor? And it takes a lot longer than that. When I started, I said to my husband I was going to give it 2 years, and I set a goal, and I put everything I could into it, and I worked around my children's schedule whenever someone was napping, or I stayed up at night trying to learn the business, and I knew it was going to be a long time. So you have to kind of go into it with the mindset that it's going to take a while, but a lot of coaches just say, you know what, let me just see what happens. Let me dabble, let me sell some Shakeology, let me help some people, and just see what transpires. And that's how a lot of coaches kind of work themselves into this organically. This last one, Chelsea and Rob are a married couple. They are actually on our team. They're part of our upline, which I'll get into in a little bit. But you can see BC stands for Business Center. You earn additional business centers as you move up in rank. So the more business centers you have, the more your income continues to compound. So Chelsea has 3 business centers, Rob has 2, and all of those business centers bring in revenue. So that gets a little bit more into Emerald to Diamond training, but that just shows you what their annual income has been and how it's compounded over time. Okay, before I get into the 3 coaching options, I'm going to turn it over to Megan for a minute, because I just want to really highlight that in terms of coaching, there's all different types of coaches on our team. So Megan is actually a working coach. She's done very well in the past year that she's been coaching, as well as her special ed career as well. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Megan, and let you talk a little bit about how you've juggled both.
Sure. So as I was sitting here listening, I was trying to think when Dina was talking what I would say just quickly to let you guys know what coaching how it's changed me and why I got into it. So I didn't really have a story per se, but I, like Tracy, had my son, was working, had some complications after my C-section, wasn't really working out. I'd always been an athlete. I was just feeling like more mentally like blah. And met Tracy through a tag sale site, took one look at her arms and was like, who are you? And through that, we cultivated this friendship. And she had approached me a few times about coaching, and I was like, oh no, I have this career, I have a baby, like I've got way too much to do. And that's what I love about it, is when I finally reached back out to her, which was a long time, she asked me many times, I was working out. I was feeling good. I was following a program in a challenge group, and I was like, you know what? I think this might be a good side job. And to be completely honest, I was feeling very broke because of daycare and a mortgage. So I was like, let me just see what I can do with this. And over the past year, it has completely changed everything. And I was thinking that today as I sat on my computer for Cyber Monday and just ordered. But it's like, I mean, financially, obviously, it's been huge for my family. I was able to pay for daycare all by myself the first 3 months, and I still won't go to direct deposit because I want my husband to see the checks that come in the mail every other week, just so he can be proud of me. But more than that, the reason that I feel like I'm almost addicted to it is the joy that it's brought to my life. And that is like in the relationships that it's formed for me. So like with Tracy and Nicole, who, you know, I met Nicole through a challenger, a friend of mine, and now she's a coach on my team and one of my best friends. We talk every single day and highs and lows and cheer each other on. So to me, it's like having this great big team cheer for you all the time, no matter on your hardest days, your hardest moments, you have like all these people on the sidelines who are rooting for you, which is really, really special. What else? And I just wanted to say also with the professional development, that's another thing that I just love about this. Every time I'm not reading or not listening to something, I reach for another book or listen to a podcast. There's always stuff to do, to listen to make yourself better. And it's really just, it's the type of thing that you can try. And if it flops and you don't want to do it, it's okay, you know. And I remember being very nervous when I started, like, what have I gotten myself into? And I'm so glad I did. So.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, it's not hard. It's not rocket science, but there is a lot to learn. I think anybody who's done like the getting started right, it's a lot in the beginning because there's just a lot of acronyms to learn, but we get it. We all eventually get it. Right. And I think it took me about 4 months to be like, I think I know what I'm doing.
And I remember too, in the beginning, one thing I did was I just stopped watching TV for like 3 or 4 weeks. I was like, wow, the amount of time I spent just sitting in front of my TV watching Grey's Anatomy. Like, you know, now I'll watch TV on a Thursday night, but the other nights, if I'm not doing anything, I'll just pull up my laptop and, you know, do some work. So.
Yeah, we call that a power hour, and it's amazing where you can find pockets of time. And Dina, who's on this call, is a teacher. Megan, who's on this call, is a teacher. And Nicole, who's on this call, is a sales rep. So I would say most of the women on our team are actually working a full-time job. We have a lot of teachers. Again, Heidi was one of our only corporate. She's a corporate executive that traveled 35 months of the year. And if that wasn't a driver for her, she wanted no more of that. And she needed to make a 6-figure income to quit. And she just busted her tail. And, you know, you just find the pockets to get it done. You know, lots of women who are staying home with their kids, you just figure out times to do it, and you give up little things, whether it be TV or whether it be like, you know, sitting in front of, you know, sitting on the couch with, you know, a magazine and a glass of wine. I mean, it's all those times, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, it compounds, and you can find time in your week to do it. Some women on our team put 2 hours in a week. Some women on our team are working 40 to 50 hours a week. Again, it's each individual making the choice. But what I would say we all are, we're all workers, we're all leaders, we're all encouragers, and we all have a heart to help people, right? We wouldn't be coaches if it wasn't for the fact that we know that we're changing lives by helping people in challenge groups, helping them see their transformation, and helping them believe that they can make change in their bodies or in their current living situations. We're not ever going to beg people to do this. Megan mentioned that I asked her to coach. I think not just because we're good friends now. I don't think I ever came off salesy or yucky when I asked her. I just knew that she'd be a good coach. And I would say to her, you know what? This may or may not be for you, but I think you'd be a good coach because of X, Y, and Z. And she did. She said no to me for about 4 times. And then finally one day she reached out and I planted the seed and she was like, I'm ready. And it was just like my friend who had so gently said to me so many times, like, you should just try something at home if you're not able to get in good shape. And I had to get to the point where I was like, okay, tell me about what you've said to me. And I think she asked me 8 times. Never once was it yucky. We will not hunt people down. We're not going to poach people. It's always it's always organic, but we share it because the opportunity has changed our lives, and we don't want to hold that away from anyone else who might have the same opportunity. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about, before we get into now what we're almost done, just about what the 3 coaching options are. So I sort of am going to probably pull this slide at some point, because here's how I feel, you guys. A coach is a coach. Whether you're on this call and you're just a coach right now because you want the 25% off your Shakeology, or because there's some people that are like, tell me more about coaching, I know I want to do it. Like Dina knew the month after that she wanted to be a coach. So a business builder, as we call them. But every single coach on our team, I said there's almost 500 of them. Not all of them are sharing coaches. Most of them, in fact, are what we call a discount coach, but they're just as important as a business builder. A discount coach is someone who just loves the Beachbody products. They drink their Shakeology daily. They don't sell anything. They're not interested in helping other people, not because they don't have a heart to, but maybe it's just not the time in their life where they can. They just want the discount. They save $16 a month. They buy a couple 3-day refreshes. They buy a couple workout programs a year, and they just don't want to pay retail. So we've got hundreds of discount coaches on our team. Then we have several hobby coaches on our team. Those are people that usually have a full-time job. They just want the discount, but they wouldn't mind sharing the journey with people that are asking. They don't mind inviting other people. They don't mind making a little bit of extra money. Maybe they'll run a challenge group here and there. But they might not want to make a business of it. They might not want to work more than 2, 4, 10 hours a week. They just kind of like have a goal, and they do it because they choose to. We've got several hobby coaches. One of them is in Disney World with her family right now, and she's like, I'm so thankful for coaching because it gave me the opportunity to, help pay for Disney. And that's okay. And then we've got the business builders. These are the people that are all in. They are building for financial freedom. They are asking others to come be coaches on their team. They love leading other people. They love leading their challengers. They have specific financial goals. They invest in training. They invest in the vital behaviors of our company. They invest in their personal development. So all coaches are important, but a lot of times, we have these little brackets where we can kind of determine, like, what coach do you want to be? Many, many times, I was a discount coach for months before I then became a hobby coach. And I was a hobby coach for a while before I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, which is when I made a 2-year commitment to see what would happen. So again, it's not one of those things. That's why I probably will remove this slide at some point. It's not one of those things where you get off this call and you're like, I know exactly where I want to be. I want to be a business builder. I want to be a discount coach. A lot of times it just happens organically for people. Sometimes people get off the call and they know exactly what they want to be, but most of the time it just is like a work in progress. Okay, so sounds good. Now what? Okay, so obviously the person that invited you is on this call. We always say, like, let us know where you think you are right now. Some people hang up from this call and they're like, I got to think about it for a while. Some people are like, you know what? I just want to be a discount coach. Some people are like, get me in training immediately. I'm psyched. I'm fired up. I want to be part of this. I want to be part of something bigger than what I'm in right now. And then your personally sponsored coach will walk you through the sign-up process. So if you're already a coach, great. If you're not a coach, then they'll probably talk to you about their next challenge group. They'll probably talk to you about a challenge pack and getting you involved in a Beachbody workout program or one that you haven't tried yet. And we really encourage you to get involved in your coach's next challenge group. We had a huge one that kicked off today. We have another huge health bet coming up January 9th. And your coach will probably talk to you about participating in that group or even helping to coach the next challenge group. And then if you are interested in the aspect of sharing the business and learning more about what it is, we do have a Getting Started Right training on what's Monday, starting next Monday. Anyone know that date for me? December, cannot believe we're in December already. I think it's December 5th. Thank you. Yeah, December 5th, exactly. So that's a training through Facebook. Again, it goes Monday through Friday. Weekends are off. It's probably a 10-minute to 20-minute commitment each day. There's a little bit of homework. There's a book that you'll read. The book is from Darren Hardy, and it's called The Compound Effect. It's an amazing book that I've read it 3 times. It's not about coaching. It's just about how small decisions that you make every day compound effect into big long-term changes. And so that's really what happens. And after you get through those 2 weeks of training, you will have all of the materials and all of the information on how to get your business started. And your coach will match your pace. If you are ready to go, your coach will be ready to go along with you. If you're ready to tiptoe into it, your coach will tiptoe with you. So there's never any pressure. It's always just, we always say we'll match your pace. However fast you want to go, we'll go with you. However slow you want to go, we'll go with you. But those are the next steps, and I hope that gives you guys a little bit of information about what coaching is, but I will open it up to FAQs or to any of the Faithfully Fit coaches on here now that might want to add something that you think I've missed that's important. Nicole, I'm going to call on you. Did I miss anything?
I'm laughing because I barely know where my mute button is. No, you didn't miss anything, but I think more than anything, I know Megan kind of touched on it, but I want Judy to know, because Judy actually already told me that she wants to be a coach. So, so Judy, I'm locking you in, but for Betsy too, Betsy's been in, one of my challenge groups before, actually, I think in this one too. But it's kind of like this little tribe we build. And aside from that, kind of like, Dina said, is that, we're helping people. And it's funny how I never would have thought that I would have been coaching either. But like everybody has said, you start helping other people and all of a sudden you're just like, oh my gosh, was this my calling? Am I supposed to be doing this my whole life? Or, even if you're not, like for me, I work a full-time job in sales and I travel all the time. And it might be a little bit overwhelming at first when you're on calls like this, but you can kind of really just make it what you want to make it. So everything that Tracey said is spot on, and I hope that you guys join the team because you won't be sorry.
Love it. Thanks, Nicole. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys for your time tonight. Thank you for the 40 minutes. Thank you for bearing with us as we started a little bit late. Get in touch with your personally sponsored coach. Think about it a couple of days or your coach will reach out to you. But we just are honored that you are even interested in talking to us. We love what we do. We hope that shines through more than anything. And most of us are still in our workout clothes. So that shows that we are authentic. And from 5 a.m., I'm still in my sweaty sweats, so I'm going to get in the shower, but I got my workout in. So hope you guys have a great night. Thank you again, and we will see you some other time. Bye.
Thanks, Tracey. Bye.
Bye. It was nice to see you all.